Okay, good afternoon class. So today we're looking at the last part of the factorization. The last type in grade 9 of your factorization, the last type, which is trinomials, the third type. So in trinomial, so to identify when you're busy with a trinomial, what do you understand by trinomial? Three. No? The trinomial is three terms. Not so. The binomial has two terms, the monomial has one term. Four and more terms is called a polynomial. Okay. So identification always consists of three terms in specific order. Sometimes it is necessary to rearrange it in the correct order. So if the trinomial is not in the form of x squared, x and constant, then we get it from that. Okay? Example is x squared, x and no x, i.e. x squared minus 3x minus 10, in other words. Or x squared, xy and y squared is the same as, where an example of that is going to be x squared minus 7, xy minus 10, y squared. Okay? That is how we can identify with a trinomial. Alright? This is example 1 and this is on page. Examples on page. Page 39. This is from the Study Master Mathematics textbook. Okay. So now these couple of rules that goes into play. Okay? Let's look at these two. So, write the first two down. Sorry? The first one is x squared plus 7x plus 12 and x squared minus 5x plus 6. Those are the two sums I need you guys to write down with me. Okay. So now I'm going to look at the first sum. Okay? What do you notice about both of those sums? Both are three terms, yes? Which makes it trinomials. What else do you notice? Sorry? Both the x squared constant, yes? Did you understand? In terms of it, yes, what else? Descending function, what else? The degree of the polynomial is both second degree, what else? What is common in both? Besides that? The plus, yes, where? The last one. Okay, so today's factorization, we are only going to look at where the last term is plus. Okay, so let's look at this quickly. So if we look here, here we have x squared plus 7x plus 12. So here's a plus thing. If that is plus, we're always going to add products. Okay. Now I think we're going to do all three at once, all four at once, okay? We're going to do all cases. I said I'm going to do plus, we're going to do all of it, okay? So if that had to be minus, what do we do? We subtract the products. It's plus, we add a product, if minus, we subtract the product, okay? So what we do is, for this form, we're going to draw what we call a product line. Okay, we'll come back now to those notes that we're going to make here. Okay. So the products we're going to draw with the product line on the left hand side of that barrier, You see on the left hand. Everybody look here now. No? The left hand side, you see as a number 1 in front of x squared.
Yes.
What's the factors of 1? How do you multiply two natural numbers? It gives you 1. 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. Not so. So what is the factors of 12? All the factors of 12. 1 and 12. 2 and 6.
3 and 4.
3 and 4. You all agree with that?
Yes.
Right. Now you write down the factors for me of that one. The factors there and the factors there. Can you do that quickly? So what are the factors here? What do you write here? 1 and 1? 1 and 6? What's the factors here? 1 and 1? 1 and 6? And here? Now if you wrote, for the first case, 1 and 1, 12 and 1, 6 and 2, and 4 and 3, it's the same thing. Not so? For now it's the same thing. Later on, in grade 10, will be, you will have to do something different. Okay? But for now, it's the same. Okay? So now you see that is plus. Okay? So what must I do? I must add my products. Okay? I'm just change the color here because I'm using reader relief for the products. So here we're going to do add products. No? So what's 1 times 12? 12. What's 1 times 1? 1. We add it again? 13. What am I looking for? 7. Can you see that? What's 1 times 6? 6. What's 1 times 2? 2. You add it, you get? Not what I'm looking for. What's 1 times 4? 4. What's 1 times 3? 3. You add it, you get? 7. So in other words, in the bracket goes a 1 and a 3. And a 1 and a... Can you see that? So since they are x squared, can you see the x squared? So that is 1x, and the x goes down. You all understand it? Now you do the same quickly. Take this out here. If you can do that with this erase now in your head, it's fine. But this initially, just write it down on the side just to make sure. Okay, once you're into the swing of it, you can do it without that. Okay? I want you to do number 2's factors quickly. Find the factors for number 2. Okay? So, do we add and subtract the products? We add them. Okay? So 1 times 6 is? 1 times 1 is 1. Okay? 7. What am I looking for? 5. 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 2 is 2. You add it, you get? 1. There's going to be 1 and a 2, 1 and a 3. There's the x squared, the x and the x. You all agree with that?
Sir?
Yes.
Minus 1 plus.
Don't worry about the signs yet. Okay? You all okay with that?
Yes.
Right. Sorry? Yeah. You see if I put the 1 in front of here, 1x is the same as x. Is that what you're asking? 1x and just x is the same.
So,
Yes?
put as 1 and 3, upon just like x and 3.
X and a 3 is fine. Okay? So what do we do here? Subtract products. Not so. So what's 1 times 6? What's 1 times 1?
1.
Subtract, you get? There will be a 1 and a 2. So it's a x and a 2, x and a 3. Just hang on about the sign. I'm just working out the numbers. We'll come back to the sign now. Yes, Michael?
So what if you have to write x and 2 and then x and 3?
That's a good question. She's saying they got, in the first case, x and a 3, and x and a 4, but she got x and a 4 and an x and a 3. The same thing. Why? 2 times 3 is 6, and 3 times 2 is 6. Okay. You all agree with that? So if you had in this case, x and a 3 and an x and a 2, no problem. And I think your factors were swapped the other way around. You got a 3 on top and a 2 at the bottom. Yeah, but it's fine, no problem. The last one, we add and subtract the products here. Again, subtract products, there's minus. So if the last term is minus, you always subtract products. You all agree with that? So 1 times 6, 6, 1 times 1, 1, you subtract what you get? 5. So it's x and a 1, x and a 3. You all understand? You can all do that. Now, yes? Why do I have so 1 and a 6, 1 and a 1 and 1 and a 6. Then I wrote the 3. It's supposed to also be. Sorry, man. You must say if I'm wrong. It's an x and a 6, an x and a 1. Okay. Sorry about that. I was thinking I had to actually change this to x squared plus x minus it. I was thinking that the whole time, but I wrote the answers down. Yes? Yeah. You just have to cross multiply.
No, I know how to do that, but just now.
It's a 1 multiplied by 6.
No, I know how to do that, but just now.
Which one's going in the bracket? You see that this one here and that one goes in one bracket. Can you see? The one.
Yeah, but where did you get the numbers from?
Oh, where did I get it from? You see this one here? 1 multiplied by 1 is 1. For 6, 1 times 6 is 6. 2 times 3 is 6. The factors of 6. You understand now? Okay, any other confusion? Sorry about that now. Shouldn't be making that mistake. Alright. So if this is positive, if that is positive, the signs must be the same. Sign's the same sign. So in other words, if both is plus or both is minus. Okay. Why? Because a positive times a positive is going to be positive. Or a negative times a negative is positive. Can you see that? So if the last term is positive, both sides must be positive or both sides must be negative. One of the two. So how do we decide which one is which? You see, there's a positive here.
Yes, sir.
So both is going to be. So make a note there. The last term is positive. Both sides will be. Both sides of the brackets will be positive, or both will be negative. If the middle term is positive, both will be positive. You guys ready? Not yet? You're going to go to the bathroom and miss this now. Right, let's look at number 2. What do you see here? Positive. So what about the signs? Both must be positive or both must be?
Negative.
In this case, both is going to be what? Negative. Why? Because the middle term is negative. The both is going to be negative. And we can check here. What? X times x? X squared. X times 4? 4x. X3 times x? 3x. What's 3x plus 4x? 7x. What's 3 times 4? 12. Let's look at this one. X times x? X squared. X times negative 3? Negative 3x. Negative 2 times x? Negative 2x. What's minus 3x minus 2x? Negative 5x. What's negative 2 times negative 3? Can you see that, people? So if the signs are the same, then in the bracket, both is going to be negative or both is going to be positive. But then we look at the middle term and then we decide. It takes the sign of the middle term. Fairly simple, no? But you need to, this is going to take some practice. Let's look at this one here, the third one. What can we see here? Negative. So how do we get the negative if we multiply two numbers? Negative times a positive or? Positive times a negative. So one must be positive, one must be negative. So either one must be positive, one must be negative. So you can't just put anyone anywhere. Okay? We look again at the middle term. And we say, okay, the middle term is negative. So the bigger product must be negative. Okay. Then which one's going to give you a bigger product? The 6, not so. 6 times x is going to be negative, positive. And we can check if we are right. Remember, the factorization is the reverse of products, or the inverse of products. Not so. What's x times x? X squared. What x times 1? X. What's negative 6 times x? Negative 6x. So positive 1x minus 6x is what? Negative 5x. What's negative 6 times positive 1?
Negative 6.
Does it make sense? Right. Fill in the signs for the last one quickly. Say again.
So, see these two brackets that are negative. How come that one is negative? How come one of these brackets is positive?
So you saying the answer should have been x minus 2, x plus 3. Is that what you said?
Sir.
For number 2.
Yes, sir.
Now let's multiply out. What's x times x? X times 3? Negative 2 times x? Negative 3, 2 times positive 3 is negative 6. Which gives me x squared plus x minus 6. Now is that the same as this here? No. But if I multiply that story out, you'll see it'll be the same. Okay. Any other confusion? Right. Where did you put the sign here? Is it positive 1 or negative 1? Negative 1, eh? Right. Let's check again. We say that is negative. So one must be positive and one must be negative. The bigger one takes the sign of the middle term. So the middle term is positive. So 6 is greater than 1, not so? So that's it. Let's check if we are right. What is x times x? X squared. What's x times 6? 6x. What's negative 1 times x? Negative x. What's negative 1 times positive 6? Negative 6. So it will be x squared plus 5x minus 6. Which makes it correct. Yes, Michael? Can't be positive. Because say you got positive. Let's see. So you got x plus 1, x plus 6. No? So what x times x? X squared. What x times 6? 6. So 1 times x? X. What's 1 times 6? So that is going to give you x squared plus 7x plus 6. Your sign is not right, neither is your middle term right. You understand, Michael? So what's the rule? If that is minus, 1 must be plus, 1 must be minus. The bigger product takes the sign of the middle term. So the middle term is positive. That is why the bigger one was 6. And I put the positive by the 6. Okay. But don't worry. We got quite a bit of these sums that we can do. We're going to use this weekend to practice this work, okay? So that is number 5. Let's see who can do number 5 quickly. Write it down and work it out. Yes? Very good. How's it now? Jessica also wanted to go. Okay, Jessica must go first. Hello? There's a plastic bucket. Go, Jessica. Right, where do we stop? Where's an answer already? Okay, so we'll ask you, so you're not done yet, so you can do it one time on the board first. Jada, start us off.
No, it's on the second.
And the product line is?
Yes. So 1 over
1 and 1 is?
then 1 over 20.
Yeah?
Then 6 over 6.
Yeah?
4 over 5.
Nice.
And
Do we add or subtract the products?
we
Subtract. Why? So that is minus.
minus.
So we say
So
1 times 20 is 20, and 1 times 1 is 1. You minus it, you get
19.
19. 1 times 10 is 10. 1 times 2 is 2. You subtract, you get 8. What am I looking for? So which means to say what? 1 and a 2 goes in a bracket.
Yeah, 1 and 2.
1 and 2, so it's going to be y and 2 and 1 and a 10, which means to say y and a 2. Not O, it's a 1 and a O. There's a 10. What about the signs? 1 plus 1? Minus. The bigger one is going to be? Minus. Yes, well done. The bigger one is going to be the sign of the middle term. Not so?
Yes.
So 1 plus 1 minus. The sign of the middle term is minus, so the 10 becomes minus. Now for those of you who wrote it the other way around, y and 10, y and 2, the sign belongs to the bracket. So the negative should be there for it to be right. Okay, you guys understand? That or this, you'll get a full mark. Okay. In future, if you see it swapped around, just making sure that the signs are swapped with it. Yes, Michael? The products, then you have a problem in grade 10. Now this is still easy. When it comes to when the sum is a bit more complex, you're going to have a problem with the grade 10 factorization. So if I'm you, you're going to do maths next year. Then do the product. Okay? You can, I'm sure you can. I can also do it without it. But it just helps when it comes to the grade 10. And the rules are there already. Okay? People, there's the next two quickly before the bell rings. Right? You guys ready? Still busy with the first one?
Yes.
Done. Right. Right, let's go with the first one. Where do we start? Product line. What goes on the line? 1 and 1. 1 and 12. 3 and? Do we add or subtract the products? What do we subtract? Last term is positive, so subtract products. Negative, so you subtract products. So 1 times 12 is? What's 1 times 1? Subtract, you get? 11. 1 times 6 is? 1 times 2 is? Subtract, you get? 4. What are we looking for? We're looking for 1. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 3 is? Subtract, you get 1. And that's what I want. So we go in the brackets. What goes in the bracket? A 1 and a 3. So what do I write here? B and a 3. A 1 and a 4. So I write here? What about our signs? First is plus, and then a negative. Not so. But the bigger sign will take the sign in the middle. The bigger product will take the sign in the middle term. So the middle term is positive. So which one is bigger? The 4. So it will be positive 4 and negative. Who got that right? Nice. Kumilin, did you do it? You didn't do it? Oh my word! You'll watch the video again the weekend. Nice. Okay. We're still busy with the last one, number 7. Right, I'll give you 1 minute left. So 5, no, you don't have so many minutes. Okay, let's do this one quickly. Okay, let's do the products. What goes on the line? 1 and 1. 1 and 30. 2 and 15. 3 and 10. 5 and 6. Okay. Sounds like you guys have left out one product. 2 times 15 is 30, so you can't do it. Okay. So what do we do now? Do we add or subtract our products? We add. 1 times 30 is 30. 1 times 1, you get 31. Next, 15 plus 2 gives you 17. 10, 3, 13. And that's what I want. I'm looking for 13 also. So it's a 1 and a 3. So here goes A and 3. A 1 and a 10. A and 10. What about our signs? No, that's positive. So both must be positive or both must be negative. Both is going to be the sign of the middle term. Is the middle term not negative? Yes. Right, listen for homework. What I suggest you do. You are still a bit confused about this. Not so. I know you are. So what you do is, you take those 7 sums and you redo it. Right. Then you go on page 39. There are 10 sums there. I want you to do all 10 for Monday. People enjoy the weekend. Good morning, good afternoon, class.